I said, don't feel like you have to tell the whole thing, just what was the next thing that happened?
I think it would be like more natural if I just told the whole story without the questions.
Marker.
My name is Ivan Gjorgievski. I was born in North Macedonia. I like being outdoors. It makes me feel good. It's like a natural antidepressant. As a kid, I loved the water. I loved swimming all the time. Adrenaline sports as well. Skiing, snowboarding, surfing, hiking, rock climbing. This one time I was scrambling up Mount Tibougargan in Australia. I fell 10 meters, slipped off of a rock, and landed on my back. A bush saved my life.
Fuck.
I would have dropped another 25 meters and probably would have died. When you've had a near-death experience, it changes your perspective. It kind of makes you like slow down and think more.
He couldn't have known it then, but Ivan's fall that day would give him the focus he would need in an even more dangerous situation a few years later.
On my 30th birthday, me and my friends were going to Greece.
My name is Tomislav Cetanovski. I'm connected to Ivan. He's my best friend.
My name is Vasil Berezovsky. To celebrate Ivan's 30th birthday, he wanted to make a big party. That's why we went to Greece.
Driving from North Macedonia to northern Greece takes roughly 4 hours. The group was big. There were 3 cars and 11 people total.
It was July 9th, 2022. We were in Posidi, which is a small village in the Chalkidiki Peninsula in northern Greece, with beautiful beaches and scenery.
It was raining in the morning, but then it stopped at around 10 a.m.
We started a barbecue. We were preparing steaks, salads, cooking and everything. And we were like, what are we gonna do next? Let's go to the beach.
We drove down to the beach and then we walked for a kilometer to the edge of the beach.
It's like a little peninsula, and the left side it's really calm, the water is really nice, and the right side there's like bigger waves.
We're very cheerful, we're very happy to be there. There was one photo that we took before we going in the water. Just captures the atmosphere the best because we're just not a care in the world.
Almost everyone decided to go where the water was calm, and that's where they went for a swim. I turned around, started heading towards the water, and at that moment, my friend Thomas, he starts yelling, "Look over there, look over there."
Martin and Vasil were dragged by the water to the deeper sea.
Probably the scariest feeling I have had in my whole life because you can't swim against the rip current.
Martin was a really nice guy, a really good close friend to Ivan.
He's someone you could count on. Any time of day, he'd always be there. So like I took a quick turn, scanned the beach, looking for something to keep someone afloat, and there was nothing on the whole beach.
Martin is really panicked. That's the moment when Ivan decided to jump into water and try to help Martin.
The current was really strong. It was taking me away from the beach really fast.
The group had no idea this point is known for having dangerous rip currents, what ocean experts call drowning machines.
We're asking other Greek people for the Coast Guard's number and the police number. We're calling them and we're explaining to them the situation.
112,
Please send rescue teams with a boat. Our friends are in trouble. They need help fast.
Martin was about 4 or 5 waves behind me. I was saying like, smiri se, prestani da plivaš, odmori, diši, which means like, calm down, take a breath, relax. And the only thing I'd see is his head. I heard a sound. And that's when I turned around. The wave goes down and up again, and his head wasn't there anymore. At that moment, because he made a sound, I thought that probably he had taken water in his lungs. My heart started racing, and there's a million thoughts going through my mind, a lot of emotion. I'm just like starting to lose function of my body, and I realized I had to shut that off, or otherwise I'd probably not be able to stay afloat. I started swimming in the direction where I thought he was, and after 15 minutes of not seeing anything, I just decided to just let the current take me and wait for the rescue.
Είμαι ο Λεμονής Κωνσταντίνος, ο καπετάνιος του αλλιευτικού σκάφους. Οι συνθήκες τρομερές. 2% για να επιζήσει ένας άνθρωπος στη θάλασσα.
An hour passed, 2 hours passed, 3 hours passed. Why is no one coming? Did my friends on the beach not call the Coast Guard, the police?
Ivan didn't know that Vasil had also been pulled into the deeper water, nor that he'd already been rescued. What Ivan did know was that as the sun inched closer and closer to setting, the danger increased.
The Greek officials told us that we are not any more help on the beach and that we are supposed to leave it and go to our apartment. The waves were huge, and we could see just one tanker passing by with the waves just crashing over the tanker. Immediately I thought that my friends were not gonna make out alive out of that water.
I knew that at night they weren't gonna find me and they're gonna have to look for me the next morning. Your life starts flashing through your eyes, what you've done so far, what you haven't done, like what you're gonna miss, experiences, people, how your family is gonna take that. There were 2 options. Either I'm gonna try to survive as long as possible, fight to the end, or give up now to not go through all the pain and suffering, because I knew it wasn't gonna be easy at all. But I'm not a person that gives up, so I knew I had to survive the night in the water. I felt like a bat. I could probably see everything. That really helped because all night I had to look out because the waves were massive. The wind was really strong.
I figured out who was Martin's brother, and I called him straight away. He didn't want to believe the situation. He thought that he was being pranked, and I just explained to Martin's brother that the situation is real, that his brother is lost at sea. When Ivan's dad arrived after midnight, we went to the city Coast Guard's office. They're not doing anything. They're saying that the storm is too big and they can't search right now. There are no boats in the water searching for our friends. The weather was just getting worse and worse and worse. The waves were huge.
The water was a lot colder, maybe 4 or 5 degrees cooler than it was during the day. And I'd start shaking. I had to be active and like swim so I can warm my body temperature up so I don't get hypothermia. So I was swimming for most of the night. I was staying with my eyes faced towards the waves. And when I saw a breaking wave, I'd swim underneath it. Drowning is probably one of the most painful ways to go. So in my head I was also thinking that maybe it's nicer to go unconscious before I drown, and maybe that would make me not feel the pain.
How would you describe that feeling of being alone?
It's one of the thoughts that you shut down. There's no one here, you're by yourself. You shut it down. A shark's gonna come and rip me to shreds. You shut it down. How's everyone gonna feel like after you die? You shut it down. You just shut everything off.
How were you able to keep so logical? Like, what is it about your brain that you're able to do that?
Yeah, it's complicated. The only thoughts that I could not stop were the thoughts of hunger and thirst. Juices, Coca-Colas, beers. I was so thirsty, I tried to drink my own urine, maybe 5 or 6 times. But the tempo of the waves, it was almost impossible to even try something like that. An interesting thing happened at night. I started seeing stars, like little orbs of light. I thought it was just from dehydration or just feeling dazed. Like when you stand up from a seat really fast, you see like little stars. The orbs were a lot bigger, shinier, very intense, circling around my arm and my legs, all over my body. I'm an atheist and I don't really believe in religion and spiritual and superstitious stuff. It kind of felt like I had 10 to 20 baby angels circling my body, like there was something there with you, like a good warm feeling. When you see light in darkness, it kind of gives you hope. The sun was starting to rise. The waves were still pretty big, pretty wild, but I realized that they weren't crashing anymore. I saw a little ball, and it was coming directly towards me in a line, which was really strange and interesting. And I was really happy. I thought maybe I'd be able to use it to relax. When I grabbed the ball, my hand sank into it, and I realized it was actually deflated, quite deflated. All of that hope was gone, vanished.
By the morning, they said that the rescue operation will continue right now. They're gonna send more boats.
Ο κόσμος πίστευε ότι είναι νεκρός και κοιτούσαν να βρουν το σώμα του.
I could see where the rescue boats are, the cargo ships, the tankers, the helicopters. All of them are looking for me like 10 kilometers back. along the shoreline, but I wasn't near the shoreline, I was like in the middle. The first ship that I saw that day, I was actually very close to, maybe 150 meters away. I saw a guy outside, so I started waving and yelling. The guy was smoking a cigarette, he had a black t-shirt on. And then he turned around, and I'm like, yeah, finally, this is the moment, like, he's probably gonna go inside to get help and tell them that he saw someone. But then I see that he throws the cigarette away and just goes inside and closes the door. And the ship just keeps going away. There was a few more hours where there was nothing, and I heard something, and I see a helicopter. It's heading towards me, directly at me. But then the helicopter just passed through without even stopping or signaling or anything. That's when I started thinking that helicopter did not see me. I'm probably gonna have to try and survive another night.
That helicopter was the Greek Air Force, and it had seen Ivan. It put out a call for all ships in the area to be on alert.
I felt the urge to get up. I saw a ship heading towards me. It made a turn, and then it came to a full stop. And that's the moment I realized someone finally saw me.
The crew of the container ship Norderog spotted Ivan 14 nautical miles south-southwest of where he'd first been swept out to sea.
I finally reached the ship, and I was so exhausted. Like, just grabbed onto it. Then they threw down a life preserver. They brought me over to the ladder. And I had to climb about like 20, 30 meters. The moment I got to the top of the ship, I completely knew that I was safe. They gave me some food, it was delicious. They gave me some fresh clothes. They gave me some tea. The tea was very nice. I asked for a refill.
I received a call from Ivan's brother. He just said to me, "We found Ivan. Is he alive or dead?" And he just said alive. I just learned that my best friend is saved when I didn't have any hopes for his life.
The most incredible thing about the story is how he managed to survive the night, to make it to the next day and to be saved. It's, for me, it's unimaginable.
Ivan was in the hospital for 2 days. While he was recovering, his story was going viral all over the world. Most coverage fixated on the soccer ball.
Everyone twisted the story. They were like, the soccer ball saves boy's life, when none of that is actually true. It wasn't the soccer ball that saved me. I felt euphoric, overjoyed, extremely happy, just very glad to be alive. But the only thing I could think about was like Martin and his family. It was important to find Martin because the family needed closure and they weren't gonna get it without knowing what happened.
There was a lot of people involved. The Coast Guard, non-profits, volunteers from Macedonia, from Greece. And most importantly, Ivan. He was there after he got a brief rest.
We made a Facebook page outlining what areas we're searching, what help we need, people with lifeguard experience, people with drones, with boats.
We thought that we found Martin's swimming trunks. They were color matching the ones that he was wearing at the moment. But that didn't lead to anything.
6 months after the incident, Ivan and his friends went to an Orthodox church in their hometown. Martin was still missing at sea, and they wanted to memorialize their friend.
We went to church in Marty's honor to light a candle and say a few things about him. We talked to the priest. He told us that he can say prayers for him because Martin's body was never found.
They said we can't do a prayer for someone that's missing.
Surviving hasn't been easy for Ivan. What happened to him was miraculous. He endured 18 hours overnight in the Aegean Sea. But what he lives with now is what drew him into the water in the first place. He tried to save his friend, and he couldn't.
I miss his positivity, his energy, his happiness. He could always light up a room. You could always rely on him.
I get reminded by him everywhere. I don't need this beach to remind me, because I think about Martin all the time. I'll always be thinking about him.